everybody, welcome to the channel again. I'm going to be reviewing Raw and Smackdown week commencing December 12th. If you could like, subscribe and leave a comment. So like, subscribe, press the subscribe button right below. So basically Raw starts with Bayley versus Alexa in a match. The winner progresses on to face Bianca Belair for the Women's Raw Championship. Really good match. Damage Control was ringside, but then Becky Lynch comes to chase them away. Really good match, but in the end, Alexa Bliss wins. Bianca Belair coming to the ring to congratulate Alexa, then she nearly turned on her because she looks like she might be going to a transition from back to deranged Alexa. Personally, I'd like to see Bray do his own thing on his own without Alexa, but yeah. Then we had Gable in the back calling out the OC. And him and Gable and AJ got into a bit of a back and forth argument, which led to a match with AJ and Gable. Really good match, but in the end, AJ won by a great counter to a roll up into a Styles clash. It was quite good. Then in the back, Johnny Gargano and Dexter. Johnny Dexter, I called it a minute ago. That does sound pretty good. But Johnny and Dexter were talking about money. They had all these different diagrams on a whiteboard. And yeah, see what happens there. Then the match was Street Profits versus Tozawa in a pretty good match versus the Judgment Day. But in the end, the Judgment Day win via Dominic. Then Johnny and Dexter come out, started giving away free stuff to the fans for Christmas. And The Miz turns up while they're giving away the stuff and grabbed the bag of money, which he gave to Dexter to do his stuff. And then Pierce basically comes out and says, you got to give the money back. And then Miz goes, well, he'll give Dexter a rematch for all the money. So now it's going to be a ladder match for all the marbles and all the money next week on Raw, I believe. Then it was Io Sky versus Candice in a really good match, which Io won. Then KO was having an interview, which was interrupted by Elias. Elias wanted KO to watch his back, but KO's like, hold on a minute. For the last year or so, me and you've been going back and forth talking about there being two Eliases, and we've been going back and forth, and you hit me with the guitar multiple times, and then KO didn't answer whether he's going to have his back or not, so we'll see. Then it was Elias versus Solo in a really good match. Elias started off doing his concert, which was interrupted by Solo. In the end, Solo won because he's on this winning streak, and he starts beating down Elias. KO comes down to save Elias, but then gives Elias a Stone Cold Stunner, so we'll see. Then it was Oscar versus Rhea. In a good match, but in the end, Oscar wins due to a distraction from Dominic. Then it was Ziggler basically giving some wise words to Theory, saying he needs to start being humble. He's not setting a good trend for being a United States champion, and he needs to do better. And he's not going to have that title for long, so we'll see. Then in the main event of the evening, Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins, great match. Seth Rollins is one of the best wrestlers on earth right now. Bobby Lashley is another best wrestler on earth for his size. He's awesome. Really good match. But in the end, Seth Rollins wins the match by a counter into a pedigree off the spear. And then Bobby Lashley starts arguing with the referee, knocks the referee down, and then has a back and forth with Pierce. And Pierce fires Bobby Lashley. WTF, what is going on? You cannot fire Bobby Lashley. He's one of the main things on Raw. It's one of the main reasons I watch Raw. So sort it out, get him back in there. Hope it's just a storyline and Bobby Lashley has not been fired, because he could turn up anywhere and he could even be all elite, so we'll see. So SmackDown is basically, the whole show is a tribute to the Troop Show, which is really good. Bloodline turns up in the beginning with Sami Zayn and the Usos looking sharp. Sami got his hair in a bun. First match was Liv Morgan and Tegan versus Damage Control for the titles. Really good match, but Damage Control obviously won. Then the Usos and Sami are back in the back talking about getting ready for the big night. They're saying how Sami's going to be turned into a made man, and Roman was rolling with Solo, so he wasn't there at the beginning. Then there's some footage showed of LA Knight being tied up by what seems to be Bray Wyatt. Then LA Knight comes out, calls out Bray Wyatt, and he's ready to pound him into dust for what he's done. Bray Wyatt comes out and basically says it wasn't him who did it, and the LA Knight's next decision is going to be bad. If he chooses it to be bad, it's not going to be good for him and for his future. LA Knight decides to attack Bray and starts beating him down, and then the old geezer who's in his cutscenes comes out as well. So it's someone else. So maybe LA Knight attacked Bray, and he shouldn't have attacked him because it's a different person. So we'll see what happens there. Then Roman and Solo turn up, ready for the show, ready for the big announcement. Then we had the Intercontinental World Cup final, Ricochet versus Gunther for the IC Championship. Really, really good match. The fans are really into that. But in the end, Gunther won and Braun Strowman came out for the save because it was about to beat down Ricochet. Then Bloodline, Jimmy asked Roman if Sammy's going to be a made man tonight. But he understands if he's not a made man because he's not blood. But he says Sammy is his dog. Yeet. Roman then summons Adam Pearce. Basically says to Adam Pearce, he will come on Raw. He wants a tag match with him and Sammy versus KO and a partner of his choice. So let's see what happens there. Hopefully they bring Bobby Lashley in because he's going to be jobless. Then it was the Viking Raiders versus Phantasma versus Hit Row in a really good match. With Hit Row actually finally won a match, so congratulations to Hit Row. Then in the back, Raquel Rodriguez was attacked by Ronda and Shayna, doing bad things, breaking up damaging her arm some more. So we'll see what happens there. Then in the main segment of the night, the Bloodline come out. It's said that Roman is now 838 days into his title run, and the Usos are defending their titles now for 516 days. Crazy numbers. Roman's basically goes on to say the shows in Chicago. Obviously, Chicago acknowledge him, but then he goes on to say they need to sort this KO problem out. Then Sammy cuts a promo, and he just slips up. He says KO has no friend. Sami Zayn is his only friend. Then he corrects it, goes, oh, in fact, he's not my friend. Then as that was all going on, the cutscene comes on. John Cena's back, basically saying he's going to tag with KO and face Roman and Sammy. So it won't be Bobby Lashley, it will be John Cena, the 16-time world champion, the You Can't See Me man. He's also held the title for 1 year at one period of time as well. So yeah, John Cena's back. Let's go. Let's see what happens. So thank you for watching. If you could like, subscribe to my channel, that would be very helpful. Thank you very much.